Hi everybody, I'm making a Penne Arrabiatta with some stir-fried kale, and I think I'm going to be using the broccoli that has been lying in the fridge for a couple of days. So I posted these recipes earlier, but if you want to make them, stay with me on Insta stories today. What I did was I took a pot and I dry roasted 8 to 10 pieces of garlic that I had sliced, and slightly prior to that I had boiled these tomatoes till the skin split, and I ran some cold water over it so that the skin came off easily like that. I'm going to cut it up into small pieces and add that to this garlic and a little bit of olive oil. For one packet of pasta, I normally use about 2.5 kgs of tomatoes, but I only had a kg tomatoes at home, so I'm going to be using a can of peeled tomatoes, and I guess I'll just make less than a packet of penne. I season this with black pepper, and next I'm going to be adding a little more than half a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of herbs, half a teaspoon of chili garlic flakes. You can always add more of any. Mix that well. Push the tomatoes down, break it up, and we're going to cook this on low fire for about 20 minutes or so. And while the sauce cooks, I've taken a pan like this and added a little bit of olive oil. When it gets hot, I'm going to be stir frying broccoli pieces. Season this with a little bit of salt and crackling black pepper. Lay it onto a platter. Okay guys, I didn't boil this broccoli, I just stir fried it for 2 to 3 minutes and it's ready. And in the same pan, add some more olive oil and stir any kind of bell peppers, red, orange, yellow, or even capsicum. Then season it with salt and pepper once it's done. And I'm going to do the same thing with the onions. Okay, and the last step is to temper this. You take some more oil. I've only used olive oil, and I've used about, at this point, 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to be sauteing this till it turns golden brown, and then I'm going to temper this with a mixture of black and white sesame seeds and 4 pieces of red dried chili balls. Okay, I've turned off the fire and I'm just going to sprinkle this on top of the broccoli, onion, bell pepper mix. This has to be the simplest vegetable stir fry you're ever going to make. All I added was salt, pepper, there were some garlic chips, sesame seeds and red chili balls. You can skip the red chili balls and use red chili flakes. And I'm going to end this with a squeeze of lemon. This is ready to be eaten. It's a great side dish for steaks as well. So even if you're not vegetarian, you can eat this with anything. Last thing I'm making today is a kale cottage cheese stir fry with ginger and sambal Oelek. I've taken a pan, added a little bit of sesame oil to this. I'm going to place the cottage cheese on top, and then I'm going to season this with salt and some red chili powder or paprika. Took it out onto a plate, and oh my god, it's delicious. In the same pan, I added a little more sesame oil and 1 teaspoon of chopped up ginger. Stir fry till it's fragrant. Add 3 teaspoons of sambal Oelek. I'm adding a handful of basil leaves. I'm going to fry this. I think I need to add a little bit more oil. Adding that much of kale, which is I think about 2 full cups. Right at the end, a seasoning of salt, some lemon, and turn the fire off and pick out the seeds. This is done and I can't even begin to tell you how yummy this is. Not because I've made it, no, never because I've made it, only because the ginger that I've used in this, along with the Sambal Oelek and the lemon, have really added this amazing kick to it. I really want you guys to try this. If you don't have kale, then I suggest you make this with spinach maybe, or even sliced cabbage. And while I was putting this together, I think I had half the cottage cheese, and it's so yummy that I'm going to make some more. So I hope you like this recipe, and I hope you make this soon. Since I had some spinach lying around at home, all I did was wash it and cut it into halves. And then I took this pan, added a little bit of olive oil, and just sauteed the spinach without any salt, because I think spinach is pretty salty. And then I've turned off the fire, and I'm just going to throw in some roasted garlic pieces on top for fun. If you don't have that, no worries. You can fry garlic and then cut it up into small pieces and sprinkle that. And that is done. So these 3 things are ready. And it almost seems like we've forgotten about the tomato sauce for the pasta. It was ready ages ago. I cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes depending on the kind of tomatoes you're using. Since I used canned and fresh tomatoes, I took a little longer. Right at the end, I always check for seasoning. I add some more salt if I want, a little bit of vinegar. I sometimes add balsamic vinegar, and I nearly always add some garlic powder, and then I sprinkle it generously with the Parmesan cheese before serving it. I had a lot of fun making these 4 vegetarian dishes today, out of which 3 were vegan. I'm going to be putting them as a post on If Nat Can Cook and as a video on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making these dishes.